Welcome to episode 30 of the Cards and Cartridges podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, aka OG Retro. I'm here with Chris, Koozie Retro Games. How you doing, my man?
Good. I am up in northern Michigan right now. Scout had a vet appointment. She got spayed. She got microchipped.
GG's.
And she had her hernia, her umbilical cord hernia she was born with, removed. But they did a great job up here. Very happy with that. So she's doing well.
Hey.
Sorry we didn't have an episode out this past weekend. Overcoming a cold, that typical, everybody goes back to school, everybody gets sick. My brother came home sick and got the rest of the family sick, basically. But so sorry if I still sound a little nasally. I'm feeling a lot better, but I hope you guys are having a great week. And I hope you're also having a good week.
Yeah, man, it's been pretty good. Really looking for houses now. I know we talked about that a bit, which is crazy. If anybody knows any fair realtors up in Maine, dude, they're voracious. Realtors are voracious. I am getting hit up.
That's a good vocab
in
word.
So many different ways for people to try and like snake some commish. And I'm just like, dude,
really?
Let's relax here.
We're lucky we didn't kind of put out there we were looking for a realtor because Becca's aunt's friend is a realtor, and that's their entire family. So we kind of had a connection.
Yeah, I'd rather just work with someone we know or just the listing agent of the home. So they're just getting all the money, and they're then a little bit more inclined to work with us. I was given that tip.
You just gotta show up with a briefcase full of cash and not have to deal with it.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, we got some good topics today. We got a very nice bolo that I'm sure y'all will like. We're going to be talking about the Switch Direct, them bringing some N64 Genesis titles to the Switch. Is that good enough for us? I don't know. We're going to be talking about the Nintendo movie. That's definitely good enough for me. And I hope it is for you because the cast is insane. We're going to be talking about how the Pokemon sales have been cooling down lately. I know it's something we've talked about in the past, but I think it's important to revisit it today, especially as we see some new Charizard sales coming in, as well as graded video game sales cooling down as well, or at least specific titles. Rounding it out with two topics that Koozie brought to the table that I really fuck with. Gary Vee slabbing his NFTs with PSA, and basically what that means, Gary Vee working with PSA to physicalize his digital NFTs makes no sense. Making friends with competition will be the last topic. As content creators, resellers, how do we make friends with the competition? Koozie, do you want to run us through the bolo?
I can, but something totally off topic. So I'm staring out the window while I'm recording this.
Okay.
What the hell are the point of woodpeckers? Like, what is there like the fun of just sitting there bashing your beak on trees all day?
You know, that's a good question. I don't know.
It would just give you a headache all day, and their little brains are just jumbling around inside their skull, I would assume.
You're kind of, I never thought about it like that. Their brains actually must be fucked. They don't have them.
All right.
They're gone.
Yeah, that's probably why they just keep bashing their face into things. Their brain is mush.
Dude, don't get me thinking. That's crazy. Anyways, bolo.
So today we're going to be hitting you guys with a hunting bolo. So when you're at thrift stores, I like to kind of go over to where they put the games. 95% of the time, there's nothing.
Sorry about that. We just had some casual technical difficulties because Koozie is up north in the Midwest. So he's up north Midwest, and that is even worse than just the Midwest. Koozie, with the bolo, hit us.
But so it's a hunting bolo. So when you're at a thrift store, you kind of go over to where the games are at. They'll get some games on the shelves, hopefully, but I'd say 95% of the time or more, it's crap. So normally some sports games. But what I like to do is take the cases off the shelves and just pop them open real quick and make sure the correct disc is in the case. I've found Smash Melee in a sports game disc or a Wii Sports in a Just Dance case. So it takes 2 seconds to pop through them. Maybe you're going to find something worth money, and the thrift store is not going to care. They may say something like, they may open it up to check to see if the disc is in there, like, oh, it's the wrong game, if they even notice. Right. But they're still gonna sell it to you.
Yeah, they don't care. I've definitely had that happen before. Maybe not like tons of times, but a couple of times where they're like, oh, it's a different game. Like, Are you sure you want that? I'm like, yes, that's the point. This is a
You know what I've done also is I found like an empty Wii box
Mhm.
and I just kind of said like, hey, this is empty. There's nothing in it. It's just like an empty box, a Wii controller box. Can I just have it for free?
Yeah,
And they're like, yeah. Or
that's
if you
fire.
like or you find some nice cases, you can always
Mhm.
say like, hey, these are all empty. Nobody's gonna buy them. Can I just have them? And they'll
Yeah,
probably give them to you.
yeah, that's a good call too. So yeah, just be a little thrifty at the thrift, I'd say. That's kind of the bolo here. And that's a good one. Quick but good. Like koozie. Anyways, let's talk about the Switch Direct a little bit. N64 Genesis games coming to Switch Online. Koozie, did you hear anything about this? Do you want me to explain it a little bit to you?
If you could even explain it to me, because this went live last night.
Yeah, this happened last night. So we're recording on the 24th. This went live the 23rd.
Yeah, I didn't have a
Anyways,
chance to watch it.
all good. Basically, N64 Genesis games are coming to Nintendo Switch Online via an expansion pass. Nintendo wants to make more money, and they haven't announced a price yet. And my theory on that, and many other online, is because it's embarrassing. I think it's going to be a little ridiculous. What we're going to end up paying right now, it's $20 for online service for Nintendo, which is fair because it's pretty dog. If I'm being honest, it's not good online service. You pay $20 and you get decent at best. Like Xbox Online 360 10 11 12 years ago was better than what we have now. You had friends.
$20 a month or $20 a year?
$20 a year, my bad.
Okay.
$20 a year, and then you get of course, you get the NES and the SNES Classic stuff with that. And I guess that's good value, kind of. But I'd say that's even better value than paying for like the N64 and the Genesis titles that they're giving us. Whatever the price might be, I bet it's going to be $20, like an additional $20 a year, bring it up to 40. So that's still a little bit cheaper than like Xbox yearly membership or PS whatever membership, but $20 for pretty much all games that are available in way better, like for instance, so here's some of the initial offerings. Let me see here. So Super Mario Kart, Mario Kart 64, Star Fox 64, Yoshi Story, Ocarina of Time, Winback Covert Operations, Mario Tennis, Dr. Mario 64, Sin and Punishment. Sin and Punishment, only good one on there. That was a Japan exclusive that never actually made it to the USA until the Wii, which is pretty cool. So the fact that, and I think that's the one I'm thinking of. I might be wrong. Sega Genesis, Bloodlines, Hard Corps, Mean Bean Machine, Echo the Dolphin, Golden Axe, Gunstar, Fantasy Star 4, Ristar, so Sonic, Streets of Rage, Strider. With all that being said, all of these games have, or 90% of these games have already appeared on consoles after the N64 and have been done better. So like Ocarina of Time remade on the 3DS, right? Better.
But do you think they're kind of going in order? Like they did the NES, they did the Super Nintendo, now they're doing N64.
Of course they are, but I think my argument is like, what if this is going to be your next thing? $20, whatever they charge for this is too much. It is
weird how they're charging an additional, because they didn't charge an additional for like Super Nintendo and NES games, right?
Right. It was always the same price, I think, as their original online service.
Now, why are they including Genesis stuff?
I guess that's like an additional draw.
Are they going to have to give some of the money to Sega? Is that why they are?
I don't think so. Maybe they. Well, I'm sure they have some type of partnership. Like I don't know how these. And I was wondering
if the Nintendo just being cheap was like, well, since we have to give some money to them, why would we take it out of our only $20 that we're making? Yeah. Let's charge additional. So quote unquote, this additional can just be the extra money that's going to Sega.
Yeah, and they announced these stupid controllers that go with them too. Like they're replicas of a Genesis and an N64 controller. The same way they did the NES and NES ones, like wireless Joy-Cons, they're doing that for the. Mm-hmm. It's a Bluetooth N64 controller for the Switch and a Bluetooth Sega Genesis 3-button Sega Genesis control pad for the Switch, and they're $50 each. What? Why would this be a thing? This is just, even as a collector, like as someone who likes to collect Nintendo shit, this does not get me excited like at all. There's like the controllers, okay? There's like a little inkling of excitement for the N64 shit, but
are
like
they colored, or are they just standard
it's a gray controller, and a
couldn't be the fantastic ones.
Nope, no fantastic, nothing like that. But the fact that like there's so many better, I think our friend at Papa Pixel on Instagram said this actually on the story. It was like there's so many better ways to play these games, you know? Why? And I get the nostalgia factor because I get it, but like, and maybe it really is aimed at like, it's not, maybe I'm misinterpreting this as being aimed at like collectors and enthusiasts, but maybe it's not aimed at that.
That's exactly what I was going to say. We've talked about it before on the podcast where we said like, we're so into this hobby and we're so in the know about everything that had to do with these games and their lifespans. So we are nitpicky and we are like, well, there's better ways to play it. So why are they doing this? But it's just for Sally, who has the Switch for her kid, Johnny. And Sally's like, oh my God, I played Ocarina of Time as a kid. I want to play it again. And maybe my son Johnny will now get into Ocarina of Time.
That's kind of a cool. Sorry to interrupt. Continue.
I was going to say, I feel like the hardcore Nintendo collector subgroup of people is a lot smaller than their overall arching customer base that don't know everything. So when they see these online retro games, they're gonna pay for it because they're gonna have that blast from the past nostalgia. Just like with the classic editions, people who aren't game collectors still wanted the classic editions because then they can quote unquote relive their childhood in an easier and cheaper way than buying the original hardware and all the original games.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly it. I guess that is kind of the counterpoint, right? Like I explained that to myself like in my head as I was explaining my point. And I think it is actually beneficial to like the retro hobby in general, like because it's only going to get more people interested, like kids playing like these retro video games. I wonder how many like kids who have a Switch, like Gen Zers, them Zoomers who have these Switches and have Switch Online have really gotten into like NES Online or Super Nintendo Online. And like, if that is even attractive to them. Like,
I think it is. I think it'd be something cool, especially like their parents kind of pushing it on them, like, oh my God, back in my day, I played this all the time. So like, okay, cool, I want to play what my parents played. And I don't think they're gonna get totally into it because they're like, this Super Mario is boring. Like, I want Mario Kart 8, something actually, it's your typical, the games don't hold up well, especially when you're not used to playing them. But I wonder if you think they'll still come out with an N64 Classic Edition, or will this kind of be like the replacement to the N64 Classic Edition?
Shot. I think there's no shot.
You also said it could be a good thing for the hobby.
Yeah, at the same time, though, the fact that they have the controller out now already, like, maybe they do. Maybe, because would it be that hard to just make like a little stand? What if here would be a big brain play by Nintendo. They continue to roll out these classic things on the Switch. So they bring the N64, the Genesis, they come out with the Game Boy, they come out with the Game Boy like Color, right? So then they have a couple generations there. Then they just come out with like an all-in-one. Like,
so like a Retron produced by Nintendo
type
deal.
But I could see it going the way almost of like, so Xbox had the way Xbox did some of the releases of the newest console is like a subscription service with Game Pass included in like one of the tiers of Game Pass, you got a console. So like, what if like included with a certain subscription service, you either got a Switch or you got this little like retro console that could play all these games in the library. And that would almost like make it worth it.
Yeah. And that'd be great.
It's something that
And
connected to the internet, which the classic systems don't do, right? The NES Classic and this SNES Classic, I'm pretty sure don't. I'm probably wrong. They might connect to the internet, but they don't have like online capabilities. Whereas
can you
like
play online Super Mario Kart with buddies or no?
yes, with the Switch, I believe that's possible, and that I know it's possible. And then N64 is also already touted to going to have online features, which is pretty cool, I will say.
That is
I
awesome.
we forgot I forgot to mention that as being one of the cool like benefits of this. Being able to, then that's huge. Being able to play online N64 with like other people, that's pretty fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie, that's huge. Didn't think of that. And
So
that's
it
why
sounds
this
like
is
you're kind of
good.
changing your answer to this. Is a cool thing.
Yeah, yes and no. It's still like just kind of cool
Yeah.
because I don't. It really depends on the price. If
It
it
would be a
was,
really interesting to hear it from somebody else's point of view. So if you ask one of your buddies who has a Switch just because he likes to play Breath of the Wild and just random other Switch games, Fortnite on it, whatever,
yeah,
ask him, hey, as a non-retro video game collector, what do you think of this stuff coming out? And it'd be
yeah,
interesting to see kind of their thoughts on it. And anybody who was like listening to the podcast that's not a huge retro gaming collector, maybe more focused on modern stuff. What are your thoughts on it?
yeah,
It's cool because, like I said, it does give you a taste, a dabble of the retro stuff with saving yourself hundreds of dollars potentially. You know, it would be very expensive to buy an N64 and those 10 games or whatever.
yeah. No, it definitely
And
would.
it could be
Even if
good
you're
for the
buying
hobby too, because it
reproductions.
gets more people's eyes on it. It could also, if you're strictly a reseller and you're focused on prices, it could help prices go up. People then say, oh my God, I'm playing Zelda Ocarina of Time on the Switch.
Yeah, you
I
want
want to
the
play
physical.
Majora's Mask. So then they buy an N64 and they buy Majora's Mask.
Yeah,
And then there's
yeah.
millions of people that have a Switch.
It's definitely only good for the hobby. I have no arguments that. I think it's just going to be the price. As like me personally, as a collector with all these games already, is like. And it's funny because like I'm looking at one title that just like I know I want to play online. And like that's Mario Tennis, which is my favorite
Yeah.
N64 game. One of my favorite games of all time is Mario Tennis on the 64. I don't know why. And like just now thinking about being able to play that game online, that excites me. So we'll
That's gonna
see.
get you $20 right there.
Yeah, they might. Oh, regardless, let's be honest. They're getting whatever money it is from me. That's not a question with Nintendo and me anymore. I'm fucking whipped.
Yeah.
It's just, do I think personally, can I stomach it? Yes, but it's that but that
I
we have to look
I
at.
definitely see where you're coming from. But my biggest thing is just we are such a small niche of people
Yeah.
that's like we're just how many people have all the games? Not many in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's, I mean, what other cool things came out of the direct?
So there was news on Metroid Dread, so that'll be coming out soon. I'm excited for that new like 2D 3D Metroid platformer, which is very cool. What else? We had the most exciting thing that I put down to talk to was the Nintendo movie and the absolute A-lister cast. Okay, so did you hear anything about it yet?
I saw a couple people's stories on Instagram. I remember Jack Black
Yeah.
was in there.
Anyways, so Illumination and Nintendo announced theatrical release date and voice cast for the Super Mario Bros. Animated film. So there's an animated film coming up, and these voice actors are, I mean, it's just Chris Pratt as Mario. Princess Peach is going to be Anya Taylor-Joy. Bowser is Jack Black. Luigi is Charlie Day. Toad is going to be Keegan-Michael Key, which has to be the funniest casting of all. Donkey Kong is Seth Rogen. Cranky
That's a good
Kong
one.
is Fred Armisen. So good. Cranky Kong is Fred Armisen is so funny. Kamek is Kevin Michael Richardson. Spike, Sebastian Maniscalco, so funny. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Question mark is going to be Charles Martinet. I don't know what the question mark is. Another character apparently, but anyways, just absolutely wild cast. Like,
When is there a release
crazy.
date for that?
Release date is going to be Universal Pictures will release the film in North America on December 21st, 2022. So it's deep. We're still a year and a half or so out. But damn, I'm excited.
That's gonna be a good one to see.
animated film with legends, basically
Yeah.
absolute legends, heavy hitters in the cast.
I saw
So
there was a new Kirby game too, wasn't there?
also a new Kirby game, and that looked pretty cool. Let me get to that. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I had info on that. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Okay, Kirby and the Forgotten. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Announced for the Nintendo Switch, a 3D take on the Kirby formula. It's gonna be pretty cool. It sounds like it's like almost it sounds like an open world Kirby game, which is
Yeah.
something we haven't really had before. Uh, I guess we've had like open world top. I think we've had open world top down Kirby RPGs on the GBA. I could be wrong, but anyways, the new game has a post-apocalyptic vibe that almost makes it feel like a cuter take on The Last of Us. Kirby is able to traverse the map freely with his signature float ability, although not everyone in this abandoned land looks friendly. Kirby has to contend with some familiar enemies, including a giant crocodile-like beast snapping at his heels. This is words from Polygon.com talking about Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I'm excited for it, man.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I like Kirby games, and some
I love
like
Kirby
all
games.
yeah, all the way back to the Super Nintendo. Like they're always fun, and it's
Yep.
it's like a formula that like that float ability is just so signature to Kirby that translated throughout the games, it always feels good and it always feels right. So
I bet you there's gonna be so much implementation of like his power up where he could suck people up and get their powers. I wonder
oh
how
yeah,
that's really gonna like translate into the game. I feel like you're gonna have to do different things on each level or each thing you do in this open world thing.
100%. It's going to be very interesting to see how they use all the Kirby mechanics in the open world, and I'm excited for it. The graphics look pretty cool. I've been getting more and more like impressed with graphics recently,
Mhm.
and I think it's something that I wasn't that. I mean, I've always been impressed by graphics, but like, so I was playing an indie game the other day, and I think it was I forget what it was called, but
I saw your post on Instagram about
oh,
it.
it was The Artful Escape. That's what it was called. I was playing this game called The Artful Escape, and the graphics that they were able to do, like make, and for an indie game, I was just like, this is insane. This is insane. This looks so. I mean, it was stylistic in the way that it obviously wasn't real, but all the textures look so real. So like it's just crazy. It creates this world that it really creates like the idea of like a video game creating this realistic world that's obviously not realistic has, I feel like, been something people have chased for so long. Like people back in the day felt
Yeah.
like Super Nintendo graphics were realistic, like, like quote unquote,
Yes.
like
Yes.
Madden was realistic, but like that never really meant anything. Nowadays, like what I'm seeing, it's like that's real, dude. Like some of this shit is
But I mean,
realistic, like in ways that
but then
like,
when we in 20 years we're gonna look back on this and be like,
yeah,
wow,
and be
these
like that was
graphics are
child
like the
shit.
Super Nintendo.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
100% right. But like right now, the shit that is going on with the way they're able to render light, render reflections, render water, like render like all these like really complex things you would think of like in
Mhm.
real life, shadows,
Yeah.
like light, like fit artificial light too, not only like sunlight but artificial light, like from a candle or a flashlight. Like the way that that stuff is being represented in video games right now is just insane. And this is all a tangent from Kirby because the graphics do look good on this, but it's just cool. So I like,
That's
I'm
awesome.
I feel like I'm finally starting to be impressed by graphics again, and it's exciting. So, anyways,
And it's all gonna go into play with the Switch OLED.
that is true. Little OLED model for the Switch. It sure should make them look a little better too. So that's cool. But take us through. We have no good transition for this, but take us through the Pokemon sales
Sad.
cooling down. And I had a sub question actually.
Okay.
With Pokemon sales cooling down, right? Because we've seen it with Charizard dropping at around 250K for the PSA 10. I think it was like a $500,000 card just a couple months ago. It's
Yeah.
come down to about half the price, and we've seen a couple of sales now that are representing that number as kind of like maybe the floor.
Yeah. So a PSA 10 one just sold for $252,000 on PWCC.
Mhm.
Take that how you wish it with the scandalization going around PWCC. But to back that price up, a few days ago, one just sold on Golden Auctions for $270,000.
Right. So with those two said, do we think we will see another pop or like a micro boom with celebrations coming out? With the 25th celebrations of Pokemon coming out, will that cause another like
I think it's going to be a different answer. Yes, in a different set wise.
okay.
So with this whole boom, we saw the huge boom in base set because Logan Paul, Logic, Gary Vee, they were all focused on base set booster boxes, first edition Charizards, Venusaur, Blastoise, those classic all-time cards. Now getting into celebrations, we're seeing these gold star Pokemon or the Neo Pokemon. There's just birds flying everywhere. This Majestic, there's a blue jay on the window right in front of me.
Aw.
But I mean, we're going to see it in a different sense of the cards that maybe weren't as popular in a price explosion when we first saw it. I'm getting so distracted by the bird. I'm sorry. But do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. And I'm actually not sure I totally agree with you. I think so you're saying that because of like because they are like doing new gold star cards. That's crazy. You have a literal woodpecker behind you right now. We were just, it's coming for blood, bro. We were talking shit about that. It heard you. But anyways, now I'm distracted by the birds. No, it's like, so they are reprinting or not reprinting, but making new gold star cards. They're doing some cool, like, almost like fireworks sparkles, kind of like reverse legendary hollows. They're doing like
the shiny ones, don't they?
Yeah. There's like some shining ones as well. So they're combining all these cool aspects from all these sets into one. And I think that I think we might see like an overall rise in everything again.
So
not as crazy
in
and drastic, but I think for instance, in what month is it right now? It's September 24th. Celebrations is coming in October, November-ish.
Yeah.
I think by the time Christmas rolls around, we will start to see 300K, 400K Charizards again.
Yeah. So, and another thing too is I think it's going to increase the popularity of these cards. People are going to be collecting the shinies from celebrations, the gold stars from celebrations. So like, why don't I go out and get the original gold stars, the original shining, the shining magic carp or whatever? That could increase the popularity, price, and demand of those cards. But I don't think it's going to be to the extent of the boom we saw before.
No.
Because the only reason why there was a boom before is because these large influencers with millions of followers were doing it. So then by them doing it, there are millions of followers wanting to get into it.
Yeah, that was a huge catalyst. The pandemic was a huge catalyst. There were a lot of things that started off that boom, and I think we're not going to have all of those things this coming November when the set releases, but we are going to have this set releasing, and I think that in itself is going to cause like not a good, but like a sizable pop again in
sports cards are doing the same thing. LeBron's rookie is down 60% from the boom, and it's down to right around where it was pre-boom, pre-COVID. So I guess you could say price
so it's actually
back to normal.
It's gone all the way back.
Yes.
Wow. So that's that's
shoot up and different. Back down.
That's complete, because if you've tracked Pokemon, like before COVID, pre-COVID, I think the first edition base set Charizard was like a $20,000 card or something. It was way lower, or like way lower.
But I think sports cards didn't see the influencer influence that Pokemon cards did. Logan Paul wasn't opening 2003 Fleer boxes hunting for the LeBron rookie. He was opening base set boxes looking for the Charizard rookie.
So
Charizard rookie,
dude. That's a
base set Charizard. Looking
Charmander's a Charizard rookie. Yeah.
Going into kind of like video game sales too, a 9.8 A++ Super Mario 64 just sold on Goldien auctions for $799. Golden auctions for $799,500, so $800,000. This comes 2 months after one just sold for 1.5 million. So like half price. And two things.
Yeah.
I say only $800,000. $800,000 is still a ton of money for a game that's relatively common. Now we don't have pop reports yet, but to spend 800,000 to $1.5 million on a game that you don't have pop reports for is crazy. Another thing too is everybody had a copy of Mario 64 on the N64. Yes, 9.8 A++ is mint, and there's probably very few of those out there. However many very few might be. But the fact that we've now seen two sales and it's the most recent one is half price from the other one, what does that make you think? Do you think it has anything to do with the WADA scandal too and it being graded by WADA?
I mean, I just think I think everyone kind of knew that 1.5 million one was kind of an anomaly.
Heritage even said we can't explain this. We don't know why this went for 1.5.
Yeah, I think it was kind of an anomaly, and that it just is what it is. Like, just I think you just take that out. Like, don't even think about that when thinking about like the price.
An outlier.
Yeah, it's an outlier. It's the same way you do with I think I passed this statistics in college. I think I got like a C or a B plus, but the same way you do in statistics, like take that out of there. Don't when really, you know, factoring in an average, you're not gonna take that into account. So with that being said, I think 800,000 for a Super Mario 64 is still crazy and still incredibly strong for the sealed video game market.
Rock Pokemon would be happy with our financial statistics.
Yeah, not financial advisors, but like it is what it is. I just think
it's still crazy.
It's still crazy. And again, I was going over the sales with my buddy J Bam the other day, and there were so many record breakers that weren't that. So like because the Mario 64 isn't breaking that $1.5 million anomaly record doesn't mean there aren't 10 other titles that are smashing their records.
I think Punch-Out just broke a record.
Punch-Out might have. I know Contra sold for some crazy stuff. Sonic just broke a record,
$420,000.
Just so like there's a lot of stuff that's still it's not just I don't you gotta zoom out, look at the entire market in terms of graded video games. It's not just Super Mario 64 that matters when discussing, you know, the health of the market, the state of the market, that kind of thing. It's I think the graded video game market's a fucking beast, and it's going nowhere. And some more technical difficulties involving my cat. Kuzi, we were talking about the graded video game market being a beast. What do you got to say? Any more thoughts on that?
I agree. I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. I see it increasing with the introduction of CGC and PSA acquiring WADA.
Yeah.
It's here to stay, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, don't buy sealed games, but it's here to stay, and I'm happy to be an investor in it.
Yeah. What do we think about the what do we think about the hate towards like sealed game collectors?
I don't understand it either.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if people are just jealous that other people have the stuff, or if they're jealous that people have the money to spend it on that stuff. I don't understand, and I don't understand it either, 100%. And because it's like, what's the difference between slabbing a video game or a card? And video games,
I think the same people would argue it's stupid either way.
I mean, people think spoon collecting is stupid, but there's spoon collectors out there.
Yeah, and I guess that's really just it. It's like, if it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea. But like, don't shit on people if they like something different, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it comes down to jealousy.
That's fair. Talk about Gary Vee slabbing NFTs. What is that even about?
Segue in.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to bring this up, and I know we were talking about it a week and a half ago or so too in DMs, and you got fired up, so I thought this would be good.
Yeah.
So Gary Vee, which I'm still kicking myself because I had the opportunity to buy a V-Friend for $2,000. The lowest resale V-Friend right now is 75 to 80 grand.
Holy shit, Kuzi, you fucked up.
Yeah, I could have set myself up pretty nice, paid off my truck, paid off my loans, and put a down payment on a house.
Yeah.
But we live and learn another day.
Yeah. No, it's but continue.
All right. So Gary Vee's V-Friends, they're basically doodles that he created. So he has like you're gonna die fly, optimistic octopus, passion panda, things like that. It's all fun, kind words associated with animals, and that are his NFTs. So he basically doodled all these in meetings, conferences in his free time, and then he turned those into NFTs. But he still has these doodles on computer paper. So what he did was he took a chunk of them and worked with PSA and got them slabbed. So he didn't get them they're not graded out of 10, but they're authenticated.
Yeah.
And he is keeping the majority of them. He quote unquote to keep in his family's estate, and he is sending 5 of them to Christine's auctions, which I guess is a large auction house around like art and things like that. So he is sending 5 off to be auctioned. And OG, I don't think you agree with what he's doing with this.
No, fuck that shit, dude.
I'm the opposite. I agree with what he's doing. Why? It's just like slabbing. It's authenticating an original piece of art.
Yeah. I guess all I have to say is like, yes, what you're saying is true, right? It's authenticating an original piece of art. However, it's stupid. And like, if people want to come after me for that, like, I don't know.
But why is it stupid?
Because
a lot of these NFTs are created digitally first. They're 100% digital. Right. There's no actual physical, tangible version of them.
Right.
His are different because he had a physical, tangible version of them at first. So why not slab them, get them authenticated, have them protected? He's big. He's been big into sports cards his whole life.
Look,
so he loves PSA. So why not have those for his personal collection?
Yeah. He should then leave it at that. Leave it at the personal.
But also sell 5, make some money, and get them back out into the community.
Because that's fine. If you want to do that, that's fine. And if people want to do that, want to buy those scribbles, that's fine. It's just for me. And again, maybe I'm ignorant. I understand there's a lot of money in it, but it's just stupid. Like the fact, number one, okay.
Are you mad about him reselling them? Or are you mad about him?
I'm mad about him reselling them. I'm mad about, and no, I get it. If you want to slab them for a personal collection or whatever, and you think that PSA slabs are the best way to display your art, which that's a whole different debate. That's just not it. You know, like slabbing your doodles and PSA slabs isn't the best way to do that. And I of course that's subjective and it's not objective.
But it's like PSA slabs checks, a Ben Franklin check that Ben Franklin signed. They'll slab that and authenticate that.
It's just like what you want to do, I guess. I'm just saying, like, who values? Why do you value? Why would you value one of those physical NFTs at Gary Vee? Like, is it just cool?
Because it's just like, it's cool. Gary Vee's at the following, so people like him, so it's cool in that sense. But it's also like having a proof of, say, the Mona Lisa, or like
it's not though. You're comparing scribbles to like the Mona Lisa.
But everybody sees art in a different way.
I agree with that.
Art is portrayed in different ways to people.
But
it's also like your don't you have your Metroid artwork that you were selling the last claim sale?
Yeah.
I mean, that's got a certificate of authenticity with it. And it's in a frame. I mean, it's, in a way, it's just like slabbing it and authenticating it. And you think those are cool? And yes, because maybe that's a video game thing, but
I guess for me, it's just like, if you really genuinely are truly passionate about the art, I'm gonna say quote unquote art, because you're right, it's it's all in the eye of the beholder. If you're passionate about that, then good for you, good for Gary Vee. But me personally, there's no amount of money I would spend on, like, just purely based on an art standpoint. Like, I'm collecting art. I have all the money in the world. I could buy whatever I want. There's never a point. There's never a point on that list of art where I get to Gary Vee's NFTs.
And That's your personal opinion. I'm gonna come
Yeah.
out with a bold statement here. We will update when the sale is
Yeah.
and what they end up going for, but they're gonna go for over $1 million.
Yeah. And that's fucked. But that's cool.
But
It's
but
not
Gary Vee
fucked.
has this.
Yeah.
Gary Vee has this massive. It's okay. Gary Vee has this massive following, huge following. He's praised by a lot of people for the work he does, his business personalities, his sports car knowledge, everything he does. It's just like, why would you, if you like him, why would you not want to own an original piece of art by him?
I guess as someone who does like a lot of what he says and a lot of what he's done, this feels a little bit different because it's so obvious. Like, to me, it's so obvious a cash grab kind of thing. Like, there's a lot of good, there's like a lot of cool projects and
I don't know,
like a lot of cool
I
art being created in the NFT space that I look at and I'm like, that can only be created here. It only makes sense in a digital NFT space. The NFT medium makes sense for this art, but like scribbles digitized to me doesn't make sense. And that's like it's an overall NFT kind of thing for me.
Because he's doing so much more with these NFTs. He's pioneered the NFT game with what he's doing with VeeFriends. He's using these, for example, as tickets. So if you hold a VeeFriend NFT, you get tickets into his VeeFriend conference for the next 3 years. So it's a ticket. He also had stuff like Courtside Cobra, where like you buy that one and then you get to go sit courtside with him at a Knicks game. Or there's a brunch one where you
I have a question about that. So once you buy that, it's like a one use. Like when you sell that NFT, you can't go courtside with him again, right?
So the use part of it is over, but then you still have the artwork surrounding it. And then there's other ones called like gift goats where he sends you something once a year for X amount of years or whatever. So he's doing a lot more to make them tangible in a non-tangible space. I think it's slabbing original artwork, and people bid millions and millions of dollars on prints of original artwork or sketches of original artwork, and I think this just falls into that same category.
Yeah, I think it might. I guess I'm not arguing with like kind of the logistics around like how and why and how it's happening, why it's happening, who's buying it. I guess I kind of get all that and it all makes sense. But like, to me, it just feels like he's obviously made so much fucking money from these VeeFriends and will continue to do so.
Since May, when they dropped, there's been 70 million on the secondhand market, $70 million in sales.
Yeah. Like, I just think like, I don't know. I'm not like, I'm a casual Gary Vee fan. I like some of what he does and other things like this. I'm kind of just like, why
not make more? His goal is to buy the Jets. You need billions of dollars to buy the Jets.
Yeah, I guess so.
Why not do what you can to buy that's his he's been saying that's his end goal since the beginning.
Yeah.
So whatever he can do to up his bankroll to buy the Jets is his end goal.
How much are the Jets? How
if
much
you had the
cost?
Let me Google real quick.
I feel like he has the money to buy the Jets.
Are the New York Jets worth? Franchise value in million US dollars. Real quick, 2020, $3,550 million. That's even a number.
3.5 billion, I think that would be.
Yeah, and he's also got to have. I think Jerry Jones owns the Jets.
Yeah.
So he's got to wait for Jerry Jones to die or
hire a hitman.
Then he's got to have the money, and then he's got to be voted in by the other owners in the NFL to approve him to be an owner.
I don't know if he's gonna make it, dude. Is it harder?
He's been building relationships with these owners forever. So when he has the opportunity to buy them, he's gonna be hopefully voted in by these other owners. He's kept in contact, gone to dinner, had business relationships, had other relationships with these owners.
Dude, good for him. I hope that his scribbles get him closer. And I'm totally ripping on him. Like, obviously the man's a genius. Obviously he's doing something that I didn't do. And I don't think any of it comes from jealousy from me. It's kind of just like, confusion, maybe like confusion.
I'm gonna tweet at him after this and get him on the next podcast, and you can
Yeah,
tell him how you
yeah,
feel to his face.
do that, dude.
And
Get
he's gonna
Gary
be on
Vee
the
on.
next podcast, and you'll be like, "Oh my god, Gary
Yeah,
Vee, you're
no,
amazing! I want your
no, no,
scribbles tattooed on my forehead."
absolutely not, dude. No, I would tell Gary Vee. I would love him to explain right to my face, like why.
Perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, and it should be easy to explain to like someone who does consider himself like an artist. Obviously, not everybody likes my art, like not everybody. So like, I get that. It's just, I don't know. Anyways, I guess this is a good segue. I'm making friends with the competition. I could be, the competition's Gary Vee. How would I make friends with Gary Vee? How would you like take it in a more serious note? What did you want to? What do you want to talk about with this topic?
Excuse me. This could be just kind of a quick topic. I hear YouTubers online reselling content. They're always, make friends with your competition. It's the best thing you can do. Yeah, I don't know how you feel, but I'm not really a make friends with my local competition kind of guy. I mean, I have people who I know and will kind of give them a nod and give them the time of day, but I'm not going to tell them, hey, I know you. Hey, there's games down the street. Go on and buy it. Or I think they do it from if you scratch their back, they're gonna scratch your back.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm just being a snobby reseller who's in my shell and doesn't want to make friends with anybody. And that's probably it. But I don't know if you have any thoughts or insights or what you do on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think what you said made me think of like the times this past year that I was like waiting outside Walmarts for like Pokemon cards and stuff, or inside Walmarts for like those kind of reselling drops per se. And like that was really fun, I think, to have met people through that. Like I did become friends with quote unquote like the competition. They were trying to get the same product I was trying to get, but like becoming friends with them, not only was it fun because we were able to like have some camaraderie like outside of out like in the line and like while we're all bored waiting for this shit, like we can have fun. But also like there were multiple times where they'd hit me up and be like, yo, this shit's in stock at this store, like you should go check it out. And so especially when they started limiting product and it made less sense for people to clear out stores, and that does go directly to the money thing, but still like I had these relationships built, and like it was cool to be able to kind of have this little network of people. But I think it's a little bit more nuanced online for me. I think I am totally down to let people like into my circle and like, be friends with people. I think I'm receptive to that for sure. However, I'm also I think I'm equally receptive and skeptical. Like
you're keeping your cards close to your chest.
I do, because I don't think everyone has the perfect intentions, right? Like I have to remind myself of that because I'm someone who does like kind of think the best in everyone, and that's gotten me like hurt in the just like bit in the ass kind of before.
7 prom Ryan.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And that's why. And that definitely that was it. It started there. But like I think it's just like, as shitty as it sounds, like you really just have to evaluate like are these people genuine that are approaching you online that want to have these relationships, or is it purely like a business thing? Like is it are you using me and my somewhat larger than average following to get whatever you think you can get, right? Like,
and one thing I thought of, it's like it's more of like a local garage sale competition with me.
Yeah.
And it's like me and my buddy Jake, who he's the competition, but he's been my friend since high school. Like we went to high school together, and we started like collecting and reselling together. So I don't count him as competition. But we like at garage sales, we classify this guy, the guy in the red truck, because wherever we go, somehow he is there. And he's always looking for video games and sprinting around the sub like a chicken with his head cut off. And there's this new lady, bless you, there's this new lady in a van, and she's just been popping up everywhere looking for games, and it's crazy. But then I'll be friends with like, there's this older foreign gentleman who looks for jewelry. So I'll give him, hey, what's up? Or I saw jewelry at this sale, and he kind of knows I look for video games, so he'll kind of point me if he saw video games anywhere. we're not in the same niche. So I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. But if I see the guy in the red truck walking up to a
Fuck that
sale,
guy. You
I'm
should throw
like,
him
oh,
off.
that's his sale. No, there's been multiple times where he's looking for something. I blow right past him and grab the box of games from under his knees.
Oh, okay.
And
I was gonna say
I
you
don't
just
know.
tell him, yo, I saw video games down the road at X address, and it's just like just
You could, or like post fake
yeah.
ads on Facebook Marketplace. Video
There are
game
people
sale
that do
at
they
this.
do that around here.
Yeah.
Bro, that's a real thing in the area that I live. People will post fake garage sale ads for video games to throw off people like me in the competition. It's crazy,
That's crazy.
bro. It's crazy. And that's why I have almost I have a couple of sales. My grandparents actually like sent me addresses to go to this weekend. And I was like, word, like I'll check them out. But it's almost to the point where it's like, bro, I just know that all this shit is already gone by the time I get there. There's fucking so many psychotic hawks that live in my area.
Yeah.
And like we'll probably just break into the houses that advertise this stuff, take it before it's even out. So that's how the market moves around me. So there's no point making friends with the competition. They're all crazy.
So I guess don't be a dick, but
oh, you're lagging again right at the end. I love it. Kuzi is lagging once again. He's going to take his time reconnecting here. We still can't hear him. But remember, check out the Discord link below. Check out our live claim sales every Thursday night at twitch.tv/OG Retro. Hey, he's back.
Hey,
so we had a little technical difficulties there.
We're almost done. I'll get out of the woods next week. So that was actually that question actually came from
we
Johnny,
didn't even hear the question.
Yes, the making friends with your competition. Johnny asked that, and I thought it was a good kind of longer topic for the claim sale. I mean, for the claim sale for the podcast, but it can go into our viewer question.
Yeah, it is with a viewer question.
Javier21 asks, what are your take on resellers who claim off pages on Instagram just to reflip Instagram? #Shiesty.
Yeah.
I can't be mad because I've done it.
I don't think I've done it. I have. I mean, I'll be honest. I've taken advantage of like sales on the people's stories and then resold that, I guess.
So that's good. Or somebody's posting games, you're like, that's a great deal. Like, why not buy it if you can flip it and make some money? Especially
I've actually told people, in my sales too, if you buy something from me and do want to flip it, I don't care.
I'm making my money. If you make your money, you're happy. It's like,
yeah, I think it is a problem if you have some guy like, if you really want to give, I don't know. I don't know. I've never had a problem with it on my particular sales, so I can't really speak to that. I know a few people have had problems with it on their sales pages, like the people who do the live claim or not live claim sales, but the page claim sales a lot. They'll get stores claiming like all the Pokemon games they have or like all that. And like,
but I mean it, but then there are stores. So they obviously have that local market to where they can charge more so they can do it. It's like, as the seller, you're making your money, they're going to make their money. It's one big happy thing.
Yeah, well, I think what the question is saying, he's saying is shiesty because it's not all one big happy thing, because some people maybe aren't getting the chance to buy that at a good price, only to have it offered to them again at a higher price. Which
then you don't have to buy it from that store.
Yeah, I agree.
mean, it sucks. But it's like by them posting it, everybody had a fair chance to buy it.
I agree. And that's why again, I wouldn't say yes or no either way. It's just like, it's just something that exists. Yes, prices exist that are low. Yes, people want to make money and therefore it's going to happen. And it's just something that you just got to be okay with, I think, and learn to work around it and support those who, you want to support.
Definitely. I mean, by them posting, everybody's got a fair chance.
Yeah.
Turn on post notifications. Speaking of post claim sales, we have a post claim sale page at og.kuzi.claims on Instagram.
Turn on those a lot of good spicy things available there right now.
Shiesty game stores out in California don't claim our stuff because we throw down dealios.
Yeah, there are deals there. And if you want to send our page to those game stores, you're more than welcome to do that too. We'll take any of the advertising and publicity you want to bring us. Guys, thank you for listening to another episode of the Cards and Cartridges podcast, episode 30. Make sure to hit that follow button, hit that subscribe, hit that hit those the Apple Podcast rates, reviews, all that good jazz. Kuzi had to go run on a call. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.